Hello dear friends, my name is Clive Thompson. $184 silver? You must be thinking this is clickbait. Well, stay with me and I'll show you how I get to that number. You might arrive at a different number when you see the maths, but it is possible that silver could go to this figure literally overnight. And how is that possible? Well, I'm going to explain to you how this could happen. But let's start with the catalyst. What's the catalyst for such a move? So the real problem that we have with the United States at the moment is the huge value of the debt. There's a massive amount of debt coming due in the next 4 years, which has to be rolled over at much higher interest rates than previously. This can't continue indefinitely. It's not possible to continue taking on debt indefinitely without any consequences. Something has to be done. Let's look at something which is being considered by the United States, and that is the revaluation of gold. And I'm going to talk about that and why we see it. So let's start with the position of Secretary to the Treasury in the United States. It's the most important position in the country when it comes to managing the finances of the United States. Based on the amount of money being managed, it's a position which is many times more important than Jerome Powell's position as head of the Federal Reserve. Secretary of the Treasury is literally the most important position in the United States when it comes to finance. So Scott Bessent is the current Secretary to the Treasury. He succeeded Janet Yellen. Scott Bessent was sworn in as Secretary to the Treasury on January the 28th, 2025 this year. A few days later, in his new position as Secretary to the Treasury, he said the following words, and I quote, "We're going to monetize the asset side of the US balance sheet for the American people." Now, what does that mean? Well, for those who understand what the balance sheet is and what assets are, there's one asset he must be talking about, at least everybody thinks so, and that is the most liquid and the most undervalued asset on the Treasury's balance sheet. And that asset is 261.5 million ounces of gold, which is valued by the Treasury at the statutory price of $42.22.